Senator Abdurrahman Kawu Somaila, representing Kano South under the New Nigeria People's Party, NNPP, has disclosed that he earns 21 million naira in allowances monthly. The senator explained that his official monthly salary, as fixed by the Revenue Mobilization, Allocation and Fiscal Commission, RAMFAC, is less than 1 million naira. This revelation comes in the wake of recent comments by former President Olusegun Obasanjo, who accused members of the National Assembly of setting their salaries and allowances in violation of existing laws. The RAMFAC had also recently clarified that each senator officially receives a total monthly salary and allowance of 1,063,860 naira. Senator Sumaila's revelation has sparked a debate over the remuneration of federal lawmakers in Nigeria. The significant disparity between the official figures provided by the RAMFAC and the actual take-home pay disclosed by the senator has raised questions about transparency and accountability in the remuneration of public officers. We are here again. This is an ongoing controversy. This is not the first time we are hearing about this. Back in 2018, Senator Shehu Sani did say, look, forget everything that they tell you. This is how much I go home with. And a few lawmakers went to pay former President Olusegun Obasanjo visit. And he said, look, you people are fixing your salaries, and this is a clear violation of existing laws. You are not supposed to do that. Shortly after he said that, RAMFAC came out to say this is how much senators and members of the National Assembly are supposed to receive. Okay. And just after saying that, we have Senator Sumaila saying, no, this is how much I receive, 21 million naira. Dr. Olushola, there seems to be discrepancies between what RAMFAC has said, what the Senate has said, and what the senator has said. Who should we believe?
Okay, in real sense, that's a brilliant question. In real sense, what Revenue Mobilization, Allocation, Fiscal Commission say, it's right. Because that's what they pay as a basic salary, which nosedive. But you know, basic...
No, sorry, it's not just basic allowances. Other allowances are included, not just their salary.
You know, there's a basic there, and the other allowances. The allowances they do is what they give themselves. You know, President Obasanjo just says it.
What the National Assembly gives themselves.
So you say if you are taking 21 million per month, in a year, that's 252 million naira per person. Without having an investment in an economy, without producing anything, without improving. So now ask me, how is our inflation not going to rise? Right? Because the fund coming in does not commensurate, does not complement our level of production. And Sani said that in his time when he was 8, they do 13 million in a year, right? So when you look at it now, in a month,
18 million, I think.
13 million.
13 million. 13 million in a month.
13 million in a month. So which means that in a 10 month, he already have 130 million.
If he doesn't spend any part of it. Go ahead.
No, he will spend part of it, but the question is that with that fund, does it have a positive effect on the economy? Even most of this money is being repatriated out of the shore of Nigeria. It saddened my heart when I heard that one of our politicians, a old street in Dubai, they own it. A old street in the UK, they own it. So, and Dubai has this kind of, I love Dubai for it. They have this kind of strategy. They will allow you to bring in the money, but you can't take it out. You cannot. The money comes to Dubai, that stay in Dubai, lives in Dubai. So if we are there, I will say we are senator representing Nigeria, and we are using Nigeria hard-earned money to be able to fund or finance another jurisdiction. Does it show that we are patriotic enough? And look at the time when they want to change their cars. They even come, you know, that is even much more annoying, saying that we don't like this Nigerian car because this brand, I don't want to mention it on, this brand is more durable than Nigeria, and you are being paid by Nigerian money. At that point, it's just like you're an employer, and someone said that this person is, but at that point, they will sack you. They should just call you on because you are not patriotic enough. So at that point in time, we should look at it very, very well. Okay. And as it's coming now to Nigeria, and Nigeria is struggling to get 70,000 minimum wage, and you are our lawmaker, and out of that, you are, let's say 70,000 before now, right. The law says that when you are earning 30,000, you are exempted from personal income tax. There have not been a bill to pass it that with that 70,000, yes, the minimum tax, but assumption. Okay. Since there must be a bill that says that by 70,000, you'll be exempted from taxes. But out of it, they will still pay taxes, and which our senator is going to earn money. But the question is that what is good for the geese is good for the gender.
Source for the goods, source for the gander.
Mr. Sheson, what we saw from Ramfac said they are paying them 1,063,000, both salary and allowance. But now, from what Kau said, he is of the opinion that his own is not 1,063,000. He said that his own stood at a certain amount, which is like 21 million naira. Senator Shehu also said that. Ramfac have said, this is what I pay you people. How is it then that our senators get this money if they are not the ones paying themselves in the West of Obasanjo?
Well, they did not object to it that they are not paying them.
So how are they getting the money they pay
the Ramfac only came out to
exonerate itself.
Is it really exonerating? They are compounding their problem. Because when they brought out that thing, they now went to say the law do not enforce them. The law do not empower them to enforce that on the people that they are actually regulating. And that's quite interesting. You see, what we have seen and keeps giving us headache is even the man that has claimed 21 million. I'm a finance person. Can you give us the breakdown? When Ramfac was giving out their 1,063,000, I saw there that their basic is 168,000. If 1 million is what a senator is getting, my doctor here, they are very learned. Is it commensurate? Can somebody be earning 1 million a month and you give him an SUV of 160 million? We should come from that perspective.
Considering the fact that they also have 8 million naira vehicle allowance.
See, all those ones, I'm even saying from the perspective of a business owner. If you are giving somebody 1 million monthly, maybe it's a vehicle allowance or the vehicle you give to him will run around, let's say, 20-something to 30 million. Because you expected that you are going to amortize that within 4 years that you are depreciating it. So when you talked about, it's as if you are deducting those things back. So somebody earning 1 million cannot be using a vehicle of 160 million. That is not. So somebody coming out to tell us 21 million, we will appreciate if he can further breaks it down what those 21 million all entails. Or it's a bulk payment that they just get, because every payment, from there are taxable, non-taxable things. So how much of it is being taxed and not that has been taxed? That's why we need the breakdown, just like Ramfac gave to us, is to tell you the insincerity. And we can now see the reason why it's a do or die affair. But I always tell individuals that cares to listen. How can you be earning this much? And all you could do is to be giving rice to people in your vicinity and don't create job. Because what an average politician will tell you is that if I set up factory here now, you guys will wreck it. Because that's the way you are wrecking the country. If you are doing the right thing, you have understanding of the control mechanism you can put in place to checkmate and make that businesses grow.
Now, another conversation is the fact that why is all of this coming out now? Is it because Nigerians are crying out, Nigerians want to know? Or is it because certain individuals are trying to, regardless of whether it affects them or not, discredit this administration? Because we're seeing senators from the northern extraction, being more outspoken as regards how much they earn right now.
It's not an issue of discrediting it. It's just them, I would say, exposing themselves the more. Because if you feel that what you are doing is not right, the best way to do is to exonerate yourself. Is for you to excuse yourself. Not come and tell us what you are. You are enjoying that largesse without contributing any. And you know deep down your heart.
None of them have rejected it.
That's what I told you, that when you see all these politicians, whether APC, PDP, Labour, YPP, name all the parties. When they are there, they have a common ground, though. I was thinking when they said they will give all these senators 160 million vehicle, the opposition will say, no, we don't want that. Our vehicle should not be more than 20 million. They all collected those vehicles.
What is our problem, really? Because Congress in the U.S., the law there states that the salaries of a congressman will be increased yearly. That's the law. So, but the lawmakers themselves, the congressmen themselves, decided not to allow that one go. Decided not to enact that law, not to exercise it. So they've kept it on a certain level. And I did the research. I saw that they've been earning $175,000 monthly, which, if you convert to naira, is just a little over 2 million naira. About that. Monthly.
You see, let me interject you. Those calculations to me are always wrong. We should not be comparing banana and apple. That $175,000 you're talking about
It's like
3 years ago.
It's like 200,000 naira.
3 years ago, when you look at the value of our currency, when it was still rated at 180, 300, between 180 and 300, that $175,000, it's a peanut. But if you put the same value, you'll be empowering some of our lawmakers to say, see, you mentioned $175,000, convert it to naira, it's 30-something million naira. You can see what they are earning. But we are saying, can we go ahead to see that $175,000 is equivalent to 175 naira Nigerian currency? That is the area where we want to go.
In the early 80s, that's what we have.
No, doctor. We have to look at it this way. According to Kau, he said that his take-home salary, basic salary for the month, is a little bit above 700,000 naira.
Yes, that is.
Now, what made this whole money to be this big happens to be the allowances attached to it. Yeah. And from what Abbas said when he made mention of that supervision, he said that in line with other countries like the Turkey, the India, the US, and all that, they have to look at them before going through bringing up other bills that they do. Why is it that Nigerian lawmakers are still entitled to allowances, even when the people in US don't have any of the allowances, like house allowance, for example? We heard of a senator in US that could not even pay for a house. She was sleeping in the office until they could pay for that. So why is it that we have allowances bigger than the salary now attached to the senators?
So that is where we come with. If we have a place that the system does not work, that the system is porous and it's able to benefit some certain people, that's where we are going to have it. When you look at the developed country, that's why you can see that they're taking it up with Trump, right? Look at when Biden dog, when he bites one of them, they need to. But if it's Nigeria, you can't touch the dog, right? So because we have this system, when Biden's son was caught in drugs, he said even he will appreciate if he goes to jail. These are a place where there are system. System makes life easier. System makes people accountable. That's why you will also see, because we don't have system, an average American, when they come to Nigeria or India, they will throw caution into the wind. Right? Because we don't have an average individual, we have the tendency to misbehave. The only thing that could put us on a check is because there's a system that can appropriately check us and put us on guide to do the right thing. So when we talk about the allowances are, they shouldn't be giving themselves allowance. That's why we said that most of you know that you are coming, you already make your money. You are coming to, I make an instance that I belong to some of these this thing in our institute. These are things that are done by just we want to put back into the community, right? These are the things it's expected for us to do to experience at their level. You don't come up with bogus allowances to enrich yourself at the detriment of our country, right? At the early 80s, this 100 and something thousand that we talk about is less than 170,000 in Nigeria because our currency was strong. And the American that you are talking about, they will not come and do business or make any purchase in Nigeria. The money in the UK or in the US stay there. So we in Nigeria, we must also allow our currency. You know, the more our currency loses its value, the more things get costlier in the market, and the more it makes it difficult for investors to come, because two things is going to happen. If I bring in 1,000, let's assume I bring in $1 million, invest it into Nigerian economy, I'm going to convert it to Naira. Immediately I finish my business, I want to repatriate it. When I'm converting it back to dollar, will I be better off or worse off? Because that Naira might have dropped in value so much that when I'm converting it to dollar, I might not be able to have that same $1 million. That is what gives a cause for alarm, that you must strengthen your currency for me to come and invest more.
Okay. Thanks for all that, Dr. Oluwashola. I want to lead us to somewhere, because I'm trying to let us look at where our problems are coming from. You know, we have a National Assembly that makes laws. Apparently, the Ramfact Act was enacted by the National Assembly and assented to by the President. And we have the same members of the National Assembly violating the laws they made. And, you know, so it's like a brickbat between the executive and the legislature. But again, talking about systems and 1980, is this that we have a perennial National Assembly that cannot put its act together? I'm saying this in the light of the fact that if you read Shehu Shagari's autobiography, Beckoned to Serve, in page 84 of that book, Shagari said that he had a lot of problems with the National Assembly because he approved an allocation of 3 million naira for legislators' quarters. The legislators on their own jacked it up to 21 million naira. So that wasn't the only thing. He said that legislators had pocketed allowances of 2,480 non-existent aids that were nowhere to be seen, but they pocketed their salaries. And that they had also embarked on frivolous overseas trips. To do what? Just to go and understudy the presidential system in the United States of Nigeria without proper accounting. Dr. Oluwashola, do we have a problem with electing good people into office? And where is our problem? Is it with the executive or with the legislature? That's what I want us to get.
You know, I said it earlier on. It's because we don't have a system. We should have check and balances. That's why we have three arms of government: the executive, the judiciary, and the legislature. They are to check and balance it.
Yeah, we don't see that happen.
Yeah, because there's no more check and balances. It's a lot of, look at I just don't want to use the language of Yesufu on here that says that, it was just like, maybe that's why they bring the abuse of police. I say slave people that are, it was so what she said. If I actually want to quote her verbally, she make mention of something there. She was saying that, Yesufu was saying that, when you look at, she said something like this. He said that, the activist Aisha Yesufu said, I will choose 20 years imprisonment than sing Tinubu's anthem passed by slaves masquerading as lawmakers in the national. So it shows that there are no checks and balances, right? But the question is that, look at what also happened. The EFCC also donated 50 billion naira to the presidency from the recovered loot. Who gave them the power, the authority? So which means that they can also decide to use the money as an allowance to themselves. They don't get it. So their duty is to recover the money, give it back to when we have a system, you don't just, yes, you've done what is right, but the question is that I think what is right might not be seen right if you have done it in a wrong way, right? So do they also have the capacity to donate 50 billion naira to the president? Is it their money?
Dr. Oluwashola, who should we hold responsible? So is it the executive or the legislature? I want us to locate our problems.
So you look at it now. Normally, the executive, they execute the law. Okay. The legislature, they make the law.
And they break the laws they make.
And the judiciary do what? They interpret it. Yeah. So if they've done something that is wrong, Judiciary needs to interpret it and needs to call them to order, right? So if the law they make, if it's not favorable, right, then the executive should not execute it. But if the executive discovers that this law will favor us, or if, and do not forget that if what we are doing, we would not, so there's too much compromise among these three terms of government.
So who should we blame?
At this point in time, they've all thrown caution into the wind. We don't have, because now it is this legislature that approved 300% of judiciary staffs to be increased. Not only that, so if you now look at CJ, it's not even 300%. The move is salary, the salary of the CJ from around 400,000 to 5 million, right? From 4.8 million annually to 64 million. Is that 1,000%? So it now shows that if I blame this person, how is he going to approve my bill? So it's just like a cycle. The best thing that could work, if you are going to say, put a system in place, a system will naturally...
Well, how do you then put a system in place when
That is the question.
these are the people that are representing Nigerians, and they are the ones to ensure that the system works or not?
So they are the one that will stop you from putting the system in place.
puts the system
Who
in
puts the
place?
system?
Because they are responsible. It's just
There,
like
who
talking
are
about
there?
management. In a typical organization, management is the MD, the internal control guy, even the MD himself, the manager board, that they want to put the system in place. So if they fail, there's what we in my line of business
we should
we call
hold the president
collusion.
responsible.
We call collusion. If they decide that, management override, if management decides to override control, then control is weak, right? So the president, is the number one citizen.
So we should hold him responsible.
Is the number one citizen that should,
Be held
in line with the three arms of government, to put system in place to ensure that we have a good...
Mr. Seshaw, you've been following this conversation. Who do we hold responsible?
Mr. President.
Mr. President, because the buck stops at his...
That's what even the last president said, President Muhammadu Buhari, even when so many things are going on. And that's why a lot of us said so much expectation on the part of this current administration under the leadership of Asiwaju Ahmed Bola Tinubu to say that you have understanding. He has been at the legislative arms. The wife has been there. You understand what is going on. How much of the knowledge that you have acquired in the process can you use to change the dynamics of things in favor of the citizens? So I will say that it's Mr. President, because the legislator, the judiciary, every of the activities they carry out, even though we claim they are independent, ends on Mr. President's
It's
table.
not an ideal environment, because we know that each arm of government is supposed to checkmate the other one.
They are supposed to check me, but on the long run, you still come to Mr. President for, collaboration. You see, during the administration of Bukola Saraki and Mr. President Buhari, there seems to be an issue where people will say, no, that's actually the way to go,
But then
to put them.
But
as we speak, after that,
now tagged a rubber stamp assembly.
They will tell you that they are actually collaborating. But what are they collaborating to do? To enrich themselves against the will of the people. So they must act in line. When things are not going right, speak up, say it, and let people know how it's actually going. But on the question, it's Mr. President, because in years to come, people will speak of your administration. You see, the Senate President, the CJ, those that are actually handling the other arms of government with what we have will not be known. As we speak today, everybody still speak that during the tenure of President Muhammadu Buhari, did they say during the tenure of Senator Ahmed Lawal or Saraki or this? No, it's during the tenure of President Muhammadu Buhari this happened, even whether he knows about it or not. So that's why we are calling Mr. President to say a lot is on your table. In as much as you said, don't pity me and know the work that you've done, we are not feeling the impact. If there are people, up till now, I'm still waiting for the approval, the appraisal of the executive arm that he promised under this woman, Adiza. if you want to talk about it, it's over 15 months.
The app is not that reachable anymore. Trying to get to the app.
Well, unfortunately,
To get into that
we
particular
have to
thing.
wrap up this conversation at this point. We must say a very big thank you to you, gentlemen, for your time and your thoughts. We'll take a break now. We've been speaking with Mr. Sheso Okwade, who is a chartered accountant, tax professional, and transport administrator. And we've also been speaking with Dr. Gani Oluwashola, who is managing partner, KJB Professional Services. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
Thanks so much for having us.
We'll take a break. When we come back, other segments of the show, business and entertainment, coming up next.